Now I have to say, I wanted to go to some other protests today that were important to me, such as the Iranian people here and the, what do you call it, those other countries like China. It's so great that they're out there protesting, but what are you all doing here in this free country of ours? We have it so good here and you don't even realize it. Stop protesting, and Rick and Maria, get a life. Marcella, what are you doing? What kind of job do you have? A YouTuber or something like that? Canadians want to be done with the pandemic. But COVID isn't finished with us, and it never will be. That's why we need to do our part and to be there for one another. And if I can get my weekly saline injections, my weekly boosters, so can you. And I realize that some of you are booster hesitant, which reminds me of certain girls I tried to date in high school who were penile hesitant.
Ooh.
But if you think you can just go out there walking in a national park alone when someone else might be nearby within the same square kilometer as you, then you're a selfish and critical original thinker, and that's not who Canadians are. Instead, we are a proud people. We trust the science. For example, recently a graph came out showing a 25% reduction in white supremacy and misogyny just from taking the booster. Of course, half of them died right away, but at least we get to call it unknown cause, my favorite label. The best thing we can do to keep Canadians safe is to be tested every hour. And what I like about the PCR test is it kind of reminds me of a Chinese fortune cookie message, usually positive in kind of a phony way, and could apply to anyone. And don't worry, once you're injected, you can go right back to your cigarettes and alcohol and junk food, because we care about your health. And we've got your back. And stop listening to these disinformation agents and quack doctors on YouTube and social media like Rashid Butter. Now I'd like to bring up my new product creation, Justin's Greek alphabet soup. It contains all the letters of the scheduled upcoming variants and contains a small dose of mRNA in each serving. Because it's bivalent, it's naturally inclusive. It's perfect for small, young, vulnerable toddlers who are at such a risk of a deadly disease so terrible that you need to be tested to even know that you have it. And don't worry, once we run through these variants, I can bring out my Justin's Cyrillic alphabet soup, which has 5 more characters. Bonne santé from myself and Adrian Dix and Dina Hinshaw, Teresa Tam, and a bunch of other doctors that no one's ever heard of before the pandemic. Speaking of health, I was over at the St. Paul's Hospital today, and I saw hundreds of patients checking in for fractured skulls and broken bones. That's not who Canadians are. They were all there because of hurtful words and violent language alone. I even searched around the property for sticks and stones and I couldn't find any. No matter whom you love or who you pray to or how you identify, I personally identify as one spirit, Two-Face. Anyways, this morning I was doing my laundry and it came to my attention that my neighbor neglected to return my dryer laundry ball. This is unacceptable, and I will be invoking a crippling and brutal sanction against the people of 908. For 30 days, they will not be able to borrow any cream or sugar or butter from me. It's time these Canadians next door realize the infinite dignity and potential of every Canadian's laundry needs and supplies. Am I perfect? I did leave the machine setting last week on whites instead of the diverse and inclusive colors. That led to a sustainable bad use of energy and a larger carbon footprint. But most tragic of all was the loss of one sock and Black Socks Matter. Merci beaucoup. Bonjour.
Woo!